Good morning and welcome again to another edition of the GDFL Footy Show, coming to you from Channel 44 right here in Geelong, and it's going to be a fantastic afternoon in footy. What a great round of matches we had last week. It was round 2 and the Belpost Hill Panthers continued on their winning way, defeating the Belmont Lions. But the Belmont Lions player, Chris Canavan, kicked 5 goals. That's the second week in a row he's booted 5, so Chris is becoming a great contributor to local footy. It's fantastic to see. And yes, folks, the unbelievable happened. The Geelong West Cheetahs won their first game in 30 matches, and they knocked off the Winchelsea Blues out at the Gun Club. And I can tell you now that Robbie Sims was best on the ground for the Geelong West Cheetahs, and I think they're still celebrating out there, even though it's Saturday morning again. And the East Geelong Eagles, yes, well, they started off the season pretty ordinary against the Magpies, but they bounced back and absolutely gave the Ducks a complete de-plucking, you could call it, with Lucas Murphy kicking 6 goals for the Eagles in a fantastic display of football. The Bannockburn Tigers, absolutely too good for cryo, and one of the old names in football goes around year after year after year. Best on the ground, Christian Shaw. What an amazing effort that guy does put in continuously for that club. And the Tommy Tigers, well, they were too good for Anarchy, who started the season off well. They're on top of the ladder, Anarchy, and for one round, and now Tommy Tigers have knocked them off. And the mayor was best on the ground, Johnny Mitchell. No, it was actually his son, but a great effort indeed. And, of course, the North Geelong Magpies in the 94.7 match of the day, winning their second in a row against the Inverleigh Hawks. And Paul Breguet kicking 9 goals in an awesome display, particularly after half-time. And the ball magnet himself, Derek Fitzsimmons of the North Geelong Magpies, best on the ground. Hello, I'm Dick Philpott, and once again, I have assembled some of the biggest names and brains in local football to adjudicate, communicate, eradicate, but definitely not procrastinate. And the first person I'm going to introduce you to is looking for his microphone. Nothing like live television, folks. I'll just ad-lib a little bit in. There he is on screen there. He needs absolutely no introduction. He is the chairman. He's the president of the Geelong District Football League, Neville Whitley, OAM. Good morning, Neville.
Good morning, Dick. How are you?
Well, thanks, mate. You got your microphone sorted out?
It's all on, yes.
That was unbelievable. The funny thing I've ever seen. Of course, I think Grubby was starting to choke before we got on air too. So it could be an interesting morning. And speaking of the man himself, the man from the Duck Pond who is enjoying his year on the footy show this year. And he's not sitting down, folks. He's actually standing up, but he's got his safari suit on. Have a look at that, folks. Look at that. That's television at its greatest. Richard Grubby Cations, the former president of the Werribee Central's Footy Club, extraordinary player, and one of the head Ducks himself. How are you, mate?
I'm really well, mate. It's been a pretty wet week, so I think today's footy might sort out the men from the boys, mate.
Flapping around out there and having a good time, wouldn't you,
Yeah, I heard you say a few words about them before, yeah.
No, I love the Ducks, don't you worry about that. But it certainly was an interesting round of footy last week, and I guess the match of the day, Grubby, and I'll ask you the question, it was an extraordinary performance after half-time by Paul Breguet.
It was a magnificent performance. I think he only had about 1 or 2 up till half-time. But it wasn't just the goals that he got, it was the way that he got them. You know, a couple of times he come off the boundary line, check side, torpedoes over the head, magnificent football, took a few good marks, kicked a couple of easy ones as well. He was brilliant to watch, actually, really, really good to watch.
He does it so easy, doesn't he? He makes it look like he's just having a good time. He's not really it's not a big workload for him, is it?
Well, it's not, and that can go against him sometimes too, because in the first half when he wasn't kicking goals, he's still doing it easy and he looks like he's not trying. Then all of a sudden he just went bang.
Bang, yeah, no, extraordinary effort. And speaking of Paul Breguet, we've got an interview coming up now with Paul Breguet, the full forward extraordinaire from the North Geelong Magpies, having a chat to our great reporter as we speak. Here we go.
My player of the day today at North Geelong, Paul Breguet, 9 goals, 3 magnificent personal effort. Congratulations, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was a good day.
It was a good day. At half-time, it was a fairly ordinary game, very ordinary second quarter. What was said by Darren at half-time to change it around third quarter?
Yeah, it was a really scrappy game. The deliveries into the 50 were terrible. He had about 18 inside 50s with only 2 scores, so he just concentrated on, getting the ball in front of our forwards, me and Chappie, and it paid off in the second half.
And we thought that the experienced players you've brought into the club, Hutchison, Chapman, Gibbsy, they all seem to fire in the third quarter. Are they a help to the young guys?
Yeah, they are. They're a great help. We've got a lot of young guys, so to have those older guys help them is great. Gibbo and Jono down back is so strong. And we've still got Matho to come back, who's going to be even better for us. So, yeah, Desi's standing up for us every game, so it's great.
And by comparison, you must have played very well at East Geelong last week. How did you compare today's performance to that?
Last week, yeah, it was a hard game. Today, it was very, very scrappy in the first half, but then we went on with it, which was the best part about it. We just didn't slow up. We sort of, kicked on and could win by over 10 goals. So that's what our aim was at three-quarter time, and we did that. So that's good.
You must be very fit. It was a powerhouse second half. Your fitness is very good the whole time.
Yeah, we are pretty fit. We train 3 nights a week over the off season. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So I think that really helped us out.
And welcome back, and a great interview there from Eric Nicholls with Paul Breguet, the great full forward from the North Geelong Magpies, in sensational form at the moment, kicking 9 goals against the Ehitley Hawks. Well, we've had a contact through the week from the Umpires League, and every year we bring this up all the time, and it is a bit of a struggle for them in getting the numbers out to the Geelong Football Umpires League to take part in the games on Saturday. Now, they're not just looking for field umpires, they're looking for boundary umpires, they're looking for goal umpires, anyone at all who can get out there and help the umpires out. It's a great way of entertainment on a Saturday afternoon, keeping you fit. I mean, like, maybe I should get out and stick one of those big goal umpire suits on I used to wear, but Grubby's got one of those shirts on today anyway. But it's a fantastic thing, and it's good for you to get involved in local footy. If you don't want to play, and if you can't get a game anymore, you want to put something back into local footy, umpiring's the go. Have a look at it on their website, the Geelong Football Umpires League, www, whatever it is, you'll find it there, and give them a call. I'm sure they're welcome to call. Grubby, a couple of them going around on Saturday, even the lady umpires, they do a fantastic job, don't they? They keep those blokes under control.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised, actually. I
I'm not
think,
allowed to say surprised, but...
well, some of them are very young. It's not,
I know,
not so
exactly.
much the fact that they're women, but they're very, very young, and their decision-making is very, very good. They're spot on. I do wonder a little bit sometimes if it gets a bit robust and, you might have to send a bloke off. But they'll get that because, as I say, their decision-making is really, really good. Yep. And I tell you, we will get a coat for you too out of there. We'll just go to Ray's Tent City and get one.
Geez, I've never done that gag before, folks, have they? Unbelievable. At least Jason's not here to help him along. That's the main thing. Yeah, Eric, Neville, it's always been a problem with umpires, and I guess you'd encourage people to get on the website and get in touch with the umpies.
Yes, that's for sure, Dick, because, I think they're mostly short of boundary umpires than a lot of field umpires, but they need umpires right across the board. It's quite ironical that you bring up the umpires today because Andy Wabowski and myself are going to do a reserves game in the next few weeks and see how we go at umpiring. So that'll be a bit of a sight to see.
That'll be worth going out and have a look at.
I hope you're a better umpire than you are a president.
We'll be able to march out in tune anyway.
So exactly right. Make sure you march in tune. We'll keep an eye on that. You can wear Eddie Betts' shorts while you're about. It'll be fantastic indeed. We're going to take a break. Pace and Bills come back and talk to the president of the Geelong District Footy League and the Colts wrap-up coming up as well back after this.
We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm going to tell you how football is strong. We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm going to tell you how football.
And welcome back. And of course, we've got some big action on this afternoon. But before we get into that, it's the Colts segment coming up now. We've got Mitch Cleary, who happens to be the captain of the St Mary's Colts, the under-18. So here's Mitch.
Thanks, Dick. We're halfway through our 4 matches of grading for the new Colts competition this year, with our 3rd match to get underway in just over an hour's time this morning. Our match of the day today sees South Bowen take on St Joseph's in a mouth-watering clash for under-18 enthusiasts. Last year, these sides clashed in a fiery semi-final on Skilled Stadium, with an infamous number of players receiving an infamous number of weeks suspension. Both these sides are unbeaten coming into today, so it makes for a massive clash, with both sides looking to run the footy, and I'm going to tip South Bowen by the closest of margins over St Joey's in a great match. Our next match sees Werribee take on Inverleigh. Werribee take the trip up the highway to Inverleigh in a clash that will interest a lot of GDFL footy fans. The Centurions knocked off North Geelong last week, the winner of the last 3 GDFL thirds premierships, so have all the confidence going into this one against Inverleigh, who have also started the year strongly. And in our final match we'll take a look at this morning, Belmont head to East Geelong, where the 2 Love It boys, Alzana playing for Belmont and Navajo playing for East Geelong, will clash on either sides of the ground, which is set up for a great one, and the 2 Carrington boys to add class to the Belmont side, who got over the top of North Shore by 2 points last week. Back to you, Dick.
Good on you, Mitch. Fantastic. And, well, of course, Mitch will be back again next Saturday morning. We're talking about everything that's Colts footy in the Geelong area. Now, as I said before the break, well, we introduced him earlier, we've got the president of the GDFL, which is, of course, Neville Whitley, OAM. And Neville, great to have you on the show again. And they told me before the break, and we're still laughing about it, Grubby and I, that you're actually going to do a bit of umpiring, mate, now. Is it true?
Yeah, but it's not central, Dick. It's goal umpiring. And Andy and I made that, or we were offered to do it last year at the President's Night or Presentation Night of the Umpires. And we're going to pick a game out in the next few weeks and do the reserve game.
So you're going to be stuck inside the goal square in one of those big white coats.
That's far enough to run for us, I think.
Yeah, I reckon I look all right in a big white coat. Grubby, what do you reckon?
Well, maybe they'd have to kick the ball high, though, because if they kicked it low, there's no room for the ball to go through with you standing in the middle. Jeez.
I'll be between one of Mitch's new goalposts he's picked up for nothing. Oh, no, you're not allowed to bring that up, are we? That's what,
You said they were high, not wide.
Oh, yeah, no, very good, very good. No, Ray's tent city always look after me. Take out the tent pegs and put the buttonholes in. I'm very happy about that, folks. Don't you worry about that. Now, Neville, I know something that's very, very close to the heart of everyone in the GDFL is it's sponsorship, and secondly, it's the contribution and the program that's up and running now called Read the Play. Can you just tell us a bit more what that's all about?
Yeah, Read the Play program came through David Langley, who is the chairman of the Read the Play program, and it started about 4 or 5 years ago through the Kempy Group, and they're one of the major sponsors, and along with Buckley's Entertainment Centre, and there's quite a few sponsors that tip in the money to help support it. But in June, the Read the Play program, which is for mental health, and it make it more an awareness program that is delivered to kids between the ages up to the age of 16, from about 12 or 14 to up to 16, and then there's other programs like Beyond Blue and all that takes over for senior people. But we've been aiming this at the kids, and it's gaining momentum so much so that it looks like going national, and the AFL are behind it, and also the Geelong Football Club, which in June they're having a Read the Play week, which starts off with on June the 2nd. It's the game between Geelong and West Sydney. And then there's a dinner, fundraising dinner on the Wednesday night, I think it is, and then a junior program that finishes on the Saturday, where Read the Play is really emphasised at the kids' football on the Saturday. So Read the Play is an awareness program, and the 3 leagues support it, and the umpires as well. So it's, as I said, it's an awareness thing, and if anyone's interested in it, go on to Read the Play or Kempy Group or our website and just see a bit more about it.
Fantastic, yeah, well, of course. And what people at home, how can they get involved with it, or is it something that you just basically we support?
Well, it's mostly done through the clubs, but if people want to come to the function that's held in June, they can just ring any of the leagues or ring me or David Langley, and we'll get them some seats. But there's plenty of room at Geelong Football Club on that night.
Should be fantastic. Now, of course, the GDFL again, another big season on the way, and the finals again will be at St Albans this year. They've got some massive renovations done over there, so I would imagine that the social club rooms will be sensational for this year.
Yes, they've doubled their size of it, and it looks really good. Yeah, we've signed a 5-year agreement with St Albans, which is good because it's been a yearly thing over the last few years, and we didn't know where we were going with that. So the club, St Albans Football Club, have come on board and said, right, we'll do a 5-year agreement with a 5-year option after that if we require it. But yes, St Albans is a good facility for our football. It's a neutral ground. It's good for viewing, get cars around it, and it's good country footy.
And I guess from going back to the footy last weekend, the GDFL would have been very pleased to see the West Cheetahs having their first win in 30 games.
Yes, it is good for football. Yep. Now we need to get a win for Winchelsea, of course. Now,
yeah, I know.
But our football's improved immensely over the last few years, and we got getting some really good players back into our league, and it's great to see Geelong West win a game, as you say, 30 losses in a row. Not
bad, is it, Grubby? 30 games and finally out a win. They would have had a fair crack at a bit of a celebration on Saturday night, you'd think.
Well, I reckon they might be, but I'm the wrong bloke to be asking. Ask Cogsy, because I think Belmont went a couple of times, a fair few days without winning one. There would have been some big celebrations there, Brian.
Yeah, the floor manager's nodding his head, but at least the Belmont Lions have had wins of recent times, and of course with the West Cheetahs, 30 games without a win. Gee, it makes it hard to turn up the footy every week when your side's not just not winning, but along the way they've copped some enormous beltings as well.
Well, they have, and I tipped them, if you remember rightly.
Did you really?
I did.
We might ever get that back on tape for
I
another
did.
day, so we can see Grubby actually picking the West Cheetah. So, gee, you'll be your number one ticket holder out there the way you're going, mate.
He's a good judge of football. Isn't he?
Oh, he's a magnificent judge of football. God, don't get him. Never started him, Neville. For goodness sake. Anyway, Nev, I know you've got to shoot off and go to the footy now, and thanks for coming in this morning. And we really appreciate you coming on the show. Neville Whitley, OAM, the president of the Geelong and District Footy League. That's him on screen there. Fantastic. Now, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about all the action on this afternoon, including the big game, the 94.7 match of the day, the Mark Lamer Shield. It's the East Geelong Eagles and the Belmont Lions. Back after this.
We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how Geelong and District Football League. We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football is strong.
And welcome back. And of course, this afternoon, another big round of footy on in the GDFL. It's round 3, of course, and the big games on this afternoon. And nothing bigger than the 94.7 match of the day. It's the Mark Lamer Shield. You can cough to Grubby, that's all right. We'll hit the cough button. Yeah. It's the Mark Lamer Shield, and it is the East Geelong Eagles, and they're up against the Belmont Lions. And it's out at the Kevin O'Leary Oval. It's going to be a beauty. And of course, East Geelong found a bit of form last week, Eric. And they're really, round 1, they're a bit ordinary. Last week, they gave the Ducks a nice old slacking, didn't they?
Yes, they bounced back to what we thought they probably should have been this year, and a very good bounce back to form. 43 scoring shots to 15. Belmont Lions only had 15 shots against 43 last week. East Geelong really took Werribee apart, and we thought Werribee were a good side the week before. So interesting, Grubby. Murphy, back to form last week, kicked 6 for the east side, and be interesting to go and see him this afternoon.
Don't talk to him, Eric. He's contagious.
Oh, something wrong with me. I
Oh,
don't
he's had
know.
a cop on me.
Who are you talking about?
Lindsay Murphy, mate. Lindsay Murphy.
Lucas Murphy.
That's him.
That's why I didn't know who you were talking
beg your
about.
pardon, sorry.
Reigning Whitley medalist, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll have a good look at him. We had a good look at Breguet last week, and we'll have a good look at Lucas Murphy this week. The two best full forwards in the league, you would have thought. And we might just get a gauge on who's the better out of the two of them this week.
Interesting, Grubby. The Mark Lamer Shield, Belmont haven't won it for quite a while, and I know they have. It's a bit of prestige in it. Can they get enough out of? They played well against Thompson first up. Obviously disappointing last week.
Yeah, look, I would have thought had Werribee of Central's been able to knock East Geelong off, then with a couple of losses, you'd say, gee, 100-point win down there at the Duck Pond. Crikey, I can't see East Belmont, or Belmont Lions, sorry, Cogsy. I can't see Belmont Lions beating a side like that.
So we all agree East Geelong in the 94.7 match of the day. Too good for the Belmont Lions, and once again, Grubby coughs his lungs up again. It was a bit of a lung break, don't we? We had a commercial break around here. We all agree that the Mark Lamer Shield will be retained at the East Geelong Eagles. Out at the Ehitley Oval, it's the Ehitley Hawks, and they went down to a rampaging North Geelong last week. Dale Smith may be coming back into commentary very, very shortly, and they take on the boys from the Duck Pond, Werribee Central. So both sides, Grubby, off to a pretty indifferent start this year, and in between gasps, mate, would you reckon the Werribee Centrals have got a bit of a chance?
Well, hell, it depends which Werribee Centrals go down to Ehitley, I guess. The Werribee Centrals we saw against Belpost Hill were quite good. They were against top opposition, and they performed quite well. Obviously, the Werribee Centrals that performed down at the Duck Pond last week were terrible. They got beat by 100 points. So it's very hard to see just how that happened. I was actually stunned when the scores kept coming through. Inverleigh, on the other hand, look, they put in a reasonable first quarter, and after that they were pretty poor, Eric, as what we saw. And I think it might be the side that plays the best football this week, because both sides aren't playing very good footy.
Dale well hit the panic button yet, Eric?
I wouldn't have thought so,
No.
Dick, but by the same token, he'd be looking for a bit of improvement today. I can sense that.
Now, the other big game on this afternoon, the Tommy Tigers. We're not sure where they're playing. Where are they playing, Grubby?
I think they're playing, well, St Albans are playing at home, I think, against Newton Chilwell. So I heard a rumour that their ground would be right.
Could be right. Okay.
Yeah, I know there's a big sign. The big fat bloke I know went past there the other day and said it was ground not in use. But I've been given the word that the ground will be right. We might give Johnny Mitchell a ring.
Yeah, well, Cogsy was driving out that way, but so don't even look at me as if it was me driving past. But I must admit, the ground looks pretty fantastic. It looks like the old AFL Park cricket pitches have been sown there. They're absolutely brilliant, and it's very lush. And the goalposts, you want to see how tall they are. We won't mention where Mitch got those from, but they're absolutely they've got beacons on the top where you pick up aircraft going past. They're unbelievable. But Tommy Tigers will play down at the Thunderdome. Eric, you'd think they'd be... Well, it's going to be hard because Belpost still are the form side, but I reckon Tommy Tigers will have to get a crack at them there, wouldn't they?
After 2 rounds, Dick, we've got 4 sides have won both games,
Yep.
and these are 2 of them. And Thompson and Belpost still should be a crackerjack game this afternoon, and it'll be interesting to see how Belpost still go about curbing McLeod and Forbes. Both kicked 4 each last week. Key forwards, Forbes' first game back for the season. And it'll be an interesting game to see which side can get on top. Belpost still really at the top of their form, and I would think they'd have to start favourites.
So what do you think, Grubby? Do you think Belpost still will continue their winning ways, or the Violet Crumbles might have a chance at home?
Well, look, they've got a big chance at home the way they're playing, but obviously I haven't seen them this year, and I have seen Belpost, and they just chip away at you. And look, I'm going to have to go with Belpost on what I've seen so far, but I think that's probably equal match of the round.
Yeah, it should be a great game indeed. We all agree, though, that Belpost still, the Panthers will be winners over the Tommy Tigers. Out at the Corio footy ground, the Devils playground, they take on North Geelong. Corio, not too bad last week, or the week before, but North Geelong, well, they're going and doing everything right at the moment. Eric, you'd think that, well, I'll go to Grubby actually on this one. North Geelong going pretty well at the moment, Grub.
Yeah, look, North Geelong, they looked the goods last week. They lifted when they had to lift, and of course the Hawks couldn't go with them when they did. And I reckon they had probably 17, 18 good players on the ground. Great to see Darryl Jones, his young Matty. I thought he played a terrific game last year. He had a few injuries last year. They really looked the goods, North Geelong, and hopefully, well, they've already beaten a good side in East Geelong, so we can't say they've beaten anything, haven't beaten anything. And I think they'll probably be too good for Corio. The Devils, look, we thought they were probably better than they are. Winchelsea's form showed that Corio's win against them wasn't great. And last week they got pummeled out at Victoria Park, so you'd have to go for North on form.
Eric, we talk about Paul Breguet's marvellous ever 9 goals last week, but Derek Fitzsimmons, he's an absolute ball magnet, isn't he?
Yeah, unbelievable. Plays 4 quarters, he runs all day, and he's one of the dynamos of that North Geelong side. But yeah, second half, Briggy, 5 goals in the third quarter and 3 in the last. It's great when you've got a focal point like that you can get the ball to.
About de Blasio's third quarter, Eric.
Yeah, wasn't that bad? No?
As good as you'll ever see anywhere.
Yeah, fantastic.
We all agree the North Geelong Magpies continue on their merry way out of the Devils playground. And of course, the side that won their first game in 30 games, the Geelong West Cheetahs, boy, they are on fire at the moment. They take on Bannockburn out of the Church Street Oval, and I guess a fairy tale would be for the Geelong West to win 2 in a row, Eric. What about it?
Absolutely. It would be a fairy tale, Dick, and what a great day it would be. Unfortunately, Corio won the first game comfortably at Winch, and Bannockburn put them to rest last week. Now Bannockburn take on Geelong West, who won their first game, as you mentioned, for a long time last week. So I think Bannockburn just far too strong all over the ground, and they'll enjoy playing on the West Oval. I think it's a fantastic surface and looks really good.
Good effort there. And very quickly, we run out of time again. Anarchy and Winchelsea out at the Footrot Flats. Grubby, who do you reckon will win?
I'll go for Anarchy, just.
Eric.
Yeah, I think Anarchy by a fair margin.
We've got to get our times right, folks, because we are running out of time every week towards the last game. We apologise for that. Anyway, thanks again for your company this morning. Have a great day in footy and hope your team wins. We'll see you all again next Saturday morning. Bye for now.
Let's get into it all until the final siren. No team can fall, fight to win, risking head and share.